Oh, that is blinding. I'm going to put my gems on, not being rude. In some recent videos, there's been a lot of comments from people saying that I plug my book way too much. I mentioned my book, Chase. Actually, I won't even mention it. I won't even say the name. But I do plug it quite a lot. And you're right. I apologise. I've completely overdone it. So in today's video, I promise I'm not going to mention the book even once. All right?
Really?
Yeah, not even once.
Okay.
And so we began a short but strenuous hike up Pender Hill, where I tested out my new gadget.
So I bought this thing. It's called a Thermacell, and it's a mosquito repellent. I don't know if it repels or kills. It might do both, because it's full of toxic chemicals or something that I'm sure is not quite good for you. But anyway, I figured out an ingenious way to carry it on the trail, and that is to just slot it right here in my camera bag, like that. And I can hear it working, because it's kind of hissing. It's making a hissing noise as the poison wafts up into my face, and it's actually quite effective, especially at getting rid of the mosquitoes from around your face. And so far, I haven't noticed the noxious gases have any effect on me whatsoever. I mean, everything seems normal. These little pink men with the green aura around them.
You see them too?
This is what I have to deal with. I'm sure that's normal. Sure it's standard. As long as I don't have to donate free blood to these blood-sucking shitogs.
Amanda was feeling fresh and breezy on the hike up the hill, whereas I was feeling a bit rough, to be honest.
I think, could you take this for a minute, love?
Okay.
I don't think it's... Yeah, I mean, the fragrance is not... It's not that bad, actually. It's... Oh, look at all. Can you hold it for a bit, love? Okay. So, do you feel alright there, love?
Yeah, I feel totally normal. I don't know what's wrong with you, but this is my normal. If anything, I feel really smart. Hello? Oh, that's hot. It's a little steam. I don't know.
I wonder what it tastes like. Tastes like quinoa.
It didn't take us long to reach the summit of Pender Hill, where the views opened up, giving us a glorious overlook of Madeira Park, only to reveal every landscape photographer's worst nightmare. Yeah, empty blue skies. Absolutely shamboliqua.
It's a blue sky day. Totally the worst case scenario for a landscape photographer. Almost my worst nightmare, but my thinking is, if you look at this beautiful backdrop, even in crappy light like this, it's really quite pretty. I'm sure if the tourist board had commissioned me to do a photo for the brochure or something like that, they'd want this. They'd want these cloudless blue skies. But for an artist, it's quite uninspiring. But here's my thinking. In this direction, in the east, we might get lucky and get like a colour gradient between maybe pink and then blue. So that's option one. And then I'm going to stick around a little bit longer to blue hour once it's almost dark, not quite, but almost dark. And I'm hoping that all of these houses that you can see in the distance there's restaurants, there's boats, lots and lots of boats, resorts, hotels. Hopefully they switch their lights on at night and I get that nice warm glow against a much cooler backdrop because it's blue hour. And the Milky Way will be over there in the south. So I won't get that either, which is kind of a shame because that would have looked really good. But you never know. I'm going to walk around. I've seen some cool bits of foreground with gnarly trees. Yeah, and dead branches. It's quite interesting. So I'm going to walk around and see what I can find. Maybe I could find a composition over there looking a little bit more south. I won't know until I get cracking. But before that, you know me, it's time for a snack. Now I'm on a diet, so what are we eating?
Some hummus and veg.
Hummus and veg.
We got some crackers though.
Crackers? Oh, what kind of crackers?
Like a vegan one.
Vegan crackers.
What?
Suddenly, I lost my appetite, so I decided to stagger down the hill and go composition hunting. But it didn't really work out very well.
Well, I'll be honest with you, I'm struggling to find an interesting composition with this light that I've got. I mean, there's so much to work with. I mean, I've got this beautiful lake over there. This, which I think is a lake, beautiful. These hills and this beautiful inlet. But the light is just so boring. This is really my most hated kind of light. So I'm kind of at a bit of a dead loss. I don't know if I'm going to be able to make this work, but if I just stick to those two ideas that I thought about earlier, it might work. And that's going to be at least an hour to an hour and a half away. So I think I'm just going to go back up to where Amanda is and read a copy of Chasing... Oh, no. I won't be reading that with her. Oh, I'm on Instagram these days, yeah. Yeah, it all started when I accidentally put on a wide-brimmed hat. And all of a sudden this weird urge came over me to just kind of stand on a cliff edge with a shawl wrapped around me, just kind of flapping in the wind with that wide-brimmed hat. I even felt like buying a canoe and just going into a flat, calm lake to do that kind of photography as well, yeah. And I just set up an Instagram account, Gavin Hardcastle Photography. You can find me on there, yeah. So what were you doing up there, love, when you were waiting for me?
I was just reading a copy of Chasing...
No, you can't... Oh, sorry. Sexual harassment right there.
Chasing Awe with Gavin Hardcastle.
Is that a cougar?
Don't even start. Oh, not this again. I don't...
It's not. It's a bear.
And so it was time for some extremely bland snacks.
Could I get a piece of pepper, please, love?
Oh, yes, yes.
Thanks. Oh, thank you. That's great, yeah. And do you want anything?
I would love a pea.
A pea?
But can you put some hummus on it?
Oh, I can do that, yeah. And put some hummus on this pea for you.
Okay.
Now, do you want a lot of hummus on?
Yeah, I like a lot. It's a protein, right?
Let's give it a right good scoop.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
Oh. Oh.
Yeah? Brilliant. Could I have a tomato?
Ooh, that's tricky.
Yeah. With hummus on it. You started this. Now, I've been good. Can I have some chocolate?
You had 2 pieces of veg.
Would you like a baby bell?
Oh, I'd love one.
I love a baby bell. I mean, it's pretty low-grade cheese as far as cheese goes, but there's something about having a baby bell in the bush.
Oh, bush bell. Yeah, I like it.
You've always got to take it too far, haven't you? Now, do you want a whole one, or do you want half?
Obviously, a whole one.
All right, I'll give you some cheese. Here we go. You ready for me cheese?
Yeah.
You got it.
Oh, it's stuck. Oh.
Your butt got a bit cheesy. I'm not saying anything. The link. So we're almost at that point where it's not quite blue hour. The sun is just going down over the horizon in the west. And of course, we're getting this kind of colour gradient that you can see over here, where it's kind of a grey to pink to bright blue. And I kind of like that. Sometimes it works really well. I don't know if it's going to work that well with this particular scene, but I'll give it a go. So I'll show you what I've framed up. I know I don't sound that enthusiastic. I'm not, to be quite honest with you. But I'm still holding out some hope for that blue hour shot.
I can't lie to you, I just wasn't feeling very inspired by this light. Would my blue hour image really work?
Well, it's almost blue hour, as you can see, by the fact that everything's blue. And it's not quite dark enough yet. Oh, was that a bat? Oh,
Ooh, that was close.
That was a bat. You've got to be careful in this area with bats, because they do carry rabies. And some people have perished, sadly. Yeah, so I reckon in about 15-20 minutes it'll be dark enough and you can probably just see those lights there in the distance. But I'm still only required to do like a 3-second exposure, so it's still not dark enough for a proper long exposure, which will really make those lights pop. So I need a little bit more darkness, but it's guaranteed. It's coming. 15 minutes, I reckon.
Look at the moon.
Oh, that's quite nice.
Looks like there's a man on it
There's a
tonight.
big slice of cheese, eh?
No, not when it's getting dark. No!
So as you can see, it's now blue hour, and those lights in the area of, I think it's called Madeira Park, are really starting to pop. And what I've got is a 30-second exposure, and I've done some shots at f2.8 with ISO 800, but to be honest, I could probably get away with f8. Hang on. There you go, f8. Let's try that. And all I've got to do now is just hit the shutter. Let's see if that takes the shot. Oh, and it's taking the shot right now for 30 seconds. And we'll just wait and see how that goes for this magical blue hour shot. Okay, so it's taken the shot. Let's just hit playback and see how that looks. Oh yes, that's extremely average. But as I said before, what I'm thinking of doing with this is I'll just kind of crop that bit off there so it looks like a 4x2, and I really like the simplicity of that, because if you look at this foreground that I've got, well, this tiny strip of a foreground, there's really nothing to it. It's not really doing much in the way of a foreground, so let's just cut it out completely. Now you'll see that this tree is lit up here from the headlamp that I'm using to illuminate the camera. But in the shots that I took earlier, you'll see, that that isn't an issue. So there you go. If that shot turned out to be any good, well, here's the shot.
If you'd like to actually see some good images, don't forget to find me on the Grinsterham at Gavin Hardcastle Photography.
Well, like I said at the beginning of this video, blue skies, hazy skies because of the smoke from wildfires, landscape photographer's worst nightmare. It was quite a disaster, to be quite honest with you. So Amanda's freaking out because there's some weird noises from up there that I think are woodpeckers, but she thinks might be a bear. I hope that I'm right. And there's lots of bats flying around, so I think it's time to call it quits. Do you think that mediocre shot was worth all of this?
Yeah.
All right, well, you can't win them all, can you? In fact, you can't even win 10% of them, to be quite honest with you. You know, apparently you guys enjoy watching the failures. So yeah, this is top-notch content. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Give us the old like and subscribe, and remember to tickle my bell, and we'll see you in the next one.
Toodaloo.
All right, let's get back down that hill.